Good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. So, uh, cards kind of played out exactly as I thought they were going to, and hopefully some of you guys took advantage of it. Yesterday was the Fed meeting. Fed came out and raised 25 basis points. And that was where we expected. It didn't come to the 50, which was good. But the Fed did announce that it was going to be on a rate increase frenzy for the next year. I think they said 6 or 7 more rate increases to be expected. All right. And that's kind of what analysts have said here for a couple of months, so that's no big surprise. What I had talked about and what was important was people were asking last weekend and stuff like that when gold started going crazy, silver started going crazy. I was like, wait for a pullback, wait until after Wednesday's Fed meeting. That's when you'd want to go after it, depending on if we got the 25 basis points. That was what we were looking at. It's exactly what we had. So yesterday, silver got down in the 24s, and gold was down nearly $1,900. Okay, those were, as I had said Tuesday, I think it was, those were pretty close to your support levels. So that's where it is. This morning, what you're seeing, of course, is now the big bounce. And there's a couple of reasons. Gold's up 2% this morning, 37, up $37, back to around 1950. That's good. Okay. Silver's up almost 4%, okay, 25.60. Would I still be looking at it? Absolutely. And there's a real good reason why, especially silver right now. Many times I have talked about get out of debt. Do anything you can to get rid of any of your credit. Now, the first reason is obviously anything that you have on a variable interest rate, i.e., your credit cards or something, your rates are going to go up as the Fed continues to hike rates. The other thing is if you're looking at buying a car, buying a house, or whatever it is that you can most people have to finance, okay, do it sooner rather than later because interest rates are lower now than they're going to be in 6 weeks, in 12 weeks, in 18 weeks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so give you those things. Remember why the Fed is raising interest rates. Okay, there's too much money, too much spending in the market, and not enough product. And what they're trying to do is slow down spending to get it back to this equal to curb inflation. Okay. Well, that's all fine and dandy, except the other thing that people don't understand too well is the other ways of money's moving. Now, you know that Biden put out the mandate. We talked about this a week or so ago that there's a committee that is needing to figure out central bank digital currency, the digital dollar, the Fed coin, CBDC, whatever you want to call it. Okay. If you think that is not a loaded committee, you're sadly mistaken. Okay. You know as well as I do, or should, that committee is going to come back and go, woohoo, this is the greatest thing ever. And I'll give you a real good reason why. Okay. This was kind of funny. A couple of days ago, the US Mint came out and said they are going to halt production in 2022 for Morgan and Peace dollars, silver dollars, okay, the collectibles. There's going to be no 2022 production of these. And what they claimed it was because of is there's a limited amount of silver. Okay. So, of course, I did some looking into that. And, of course, found out that that's complete bullshit. Okay. U.S. Geological Society. And I'll link both the U.S. Mint announcement and this USGS thing below so you can look at it. But at the very bottom of the USGS report, this is exactly what it says. Looking at these numbers, base metal mining has been doing very well despite supply chain problems, and a good amount of silver is coming from there as a byproduct. Okay, if base metal mining is doing so well, or doing very well, according to the U.S. Geological Society, why is the mint saying that there isn't enough silver? Well, if you go and read through this article, and this is where it gets even funnier, the press release from the U.S. Mint, the other thing they're blaming is COVID, okay? That because of COVID, they don't want people coming to work. They're trying to say that the global pandemic's impact on the availability of silver blanks from the mint suppliers is the problem. Now, I went and looked, okay, and there's no doubt that there is less silver in the marketplace than there was years past. I think a lot of that is because a lot of people are starting to buy precious metals because most people aren't blind and can see the writing on the wall. Silver and gold are a good hedge against inflation. And, ooh, gee, look what we have. Okay, highest inflation in 40 years. So, to give you an idea here, real quick, of how much silver is out there, I looked up, and I got to find this again here, real quick. Where was it? Looked up how much silver was being produced. Okay, just to give you a general idea. And most of the silver in the world comes from China, Peru, and Mexico. All right. Well, they all seem to be producing quite a bit of it. Okay. 2022 guidance says that there's going to be somewhere between 1.4 and 1.8 million ounces of silver produced in 2022. Okay, mined. That doesn't sound like a shortage. Now, y'all know that I compare silver prices all the time to look at the major bullion dealers to see what's out there. Yeah, a couple of things are out of stock. Sure, I can understand it. Okay, they're an intermediary. The mint. The miners mine it. It gets sent to a plethora of bullion dealers, and then they make the blanks and then stamp them with whatever design is going to be on there. Okay. I can still buy silver, most anything, at decent prices. Why is it that the bullion dealers can get it, but the mint can't? Now, we know why people prefer, or supposedly prefer, peace dollars and Morgan dollars and stuff like that. They're backed by the U.S. Treasury. They're backed by the federal government. Whoop-de-doo-dah. Okay, so is the dollar, but it doesn't mean about squat. Silver is silver. Okay, it doesn't matter what fancy design is on it. If you're a collector, sure, you want Morgans or peace dollars or whatever it is. But for a prepper, we are silver stackers. We want it by the ounce. Okay, that's what we're looking at doing, because when you go to sell your silver, your peace dollars, your Morgans, you're going to take to a coin collector or whatever, and they're going to give you more. Anything else, anything that's not those, they're going to give you the value of silver. So if you can buy it as cheap as you can, who cares what design is on it? They're going to pay you spot price on silver. So why is the government doing this? They don't want you to have a safe haven. That's my theory. They don't want you to be able to put your money somewhere that is protected by the government, because this corrupt committee, okay, of course is going to say, yes, Joe, we need to go to a central bank digital currency immediately. And we need to convert all dollars into Fed coin or whatever the hell they call it. Okay. Dollars are simple because all it is a lousy piece of paper. And if the Fed comes up on one morning and says, effective 8 o'clock today, paper dollars are now worthless. That's easy. Okay. They're not worth the paper they're printed on. Okay. You can't really say that about precious metals. You can't really say that. Effective immediately, silver has no value. Effective immediately, gold has no value. Okay, there's a problem with that. You know, there is gold in the computer. There is gold in the phone that you are watching this on. There is silver in those solar panels you have. There is silver in electrical components of your car. There is you can't just declare the value of a precious metal is zero because it's got value. You can easily declare that some woven cotton fake piece of paper is worth nothing. That's kind of where they're going with this, guys. They're trying to dissuade people as best they can from owning anything that they can't vaporize. This is why I've been saying for the longest time about own hard assets, gold, silver, land, anything that's appreciable. Okay. If you got a classic car, okay, that's worth it. The silly part is if you've got an old car, that might be too. One that you can work on, one that's not controlled by computers. And I'm not talking about the EMP stuff because there's plenty of studies that say EMPs won't affect modern cars. Okay. I'm not an EMP expert, so don't worry. I just read studies on it. You know, the car may stall out, but it'll start again, whatever. Economically, if they go to CBDC, which we all know is a catastrophic decision, okay? Just for the simplest one, if the power goes out, you're broke, okay? For 6 hours, 12 hours, 12 years, whatever it would be, okay? You have no access to that money. They can't do that with hard assets. Sure, people talk about all the time. They could come confiscate your gold, confiscate your silver, whatever it is. Good luck finding it. Okay. You know, it's not, this is the deal with it. It's not a physical gold and silver is not a trackable asset. You know, sure, people say, well, you buy it online, there's a record you bought it. Sure, and I go sell it to a pawn shop and there's no record I sold it, whatever it is. Go ahead, tear my house apart. You're not going to find it. Okay. That's what scares the government more than anything else is something's not trackable. You think they want Fed coin for convenience? No, they want it purely because it's trackable. That's it. You know, a car you have to register. Gee, we know who's got all the cars. Most of them on the road are registered. Sure, some aren't. Okay. Your property, of course, that's all registered. So, you know, they have records of everything. Other things are a little harder to keep records of. Okay. Your precious metals, all of them, if you get my drift, aren't. Okay. But that's exactly what's going on. That's why you have the Fed all of a sudden stopping making silver dollars. They don't want you to own hard assets. I would still suggest, and I always have, okay, buying gold and silver. If you have the capacity to, even here at 25.50, I would still be going after silver right now. Okay, that's spot price. That's not what you're going to pay. Obviously, there's a premium on it. So, that means you're going to pay somewhere after all said and done about 30 bucks an ounce. Definitely worth having because the consensus right now is silver is $40 an ounce by the end of the year. It's a 33% increase, guys. Okay. I'd say that's a pretty damn good return on your money. Like 5 times the average return that you get out of the stock market, which is about 7% a year historically. Just giving you a point. Okay. But that's what's going on with your money today. Have a good one. Pinball out.